Listen to this episode if you want to seamlessly sell online, but you don't know really how. Hello, welcome to the Small Business Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Madison Page. Today we are doing a live coaching session from a question that was submitted by you. This question was submitted by, her name is Grace. What she said is, you've been talking a lot about online channels, selling funnels, things like that. What does that really mean? What I have been calling it is, you really need to create your online channels. So your online selling channels, your online marketing. So whether that's your website, your email, your Facebook group, your social channels, how you can connect with people online into a seamless selling funnel. We're going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about what this really means and how you can really do this. At the end of the day, this is just having a solid and well-rounded marketing strategy. This is knowing how you're selling and knowing why you're marketing in different places. It doesn't all happen at one spot. Yes, on social media, you can grow, you can brand, you can sell, you can nurture a community, you can get more organic reach, you can sell to people. Some people will convert right from a cold lead into a customer right onto Instagram. That's totally fine. But your different channels actually do different things for you, and it doesn't have to be complex. This is what we're talking about today. If you didn't know, every episode that we put out on Fridays are live coaching sessions answering your exact question. This question was submitted by Grace. She gave me a little context of what she was talking about, and I'm answering it live here. If you have a question you want me to answer live, you can click the link in the show notes and answer the question there, and ask your question there. I'll answer it on one of my other Friday coaching session episodes. So let's dive into this question. Again, she said, you've been talking a lot about online channel selling funnels. What does this mean and how do I do it? So today we're chatting about this. Like I said, this really comes down to actually understanding what your objectives are in your different funnels. You're not just putting social media content out there, hoping people grow, convert, nurture, sell, do all of the things. You're not just putting the same content into emails to do the exact same thing. Yes, we can repurpose and we can reuse, but we have different objectives based on where people are. And this doesn't just have to be emails and socials and websites. It's really having three major different points. Some people call it attract, warm, convert. Some people call it top of funnel, nurture funnel, and buying point, or top of funnel, nurture point, and buying point. Basically what it is different funnels give you different types of things to do, or different marketing channels give you different types to work with. I'm going to tell you my marketing channels, my funnels that I feel like every business can have, should have, and how I teach my clients to have their funnels here shortly. But really what you want it to do is, every business can look a little different depending on what you like, depending on where your business has grown on, how many different channels you have, but you really should know whether this piece of content is going to grow, if you're trying to get it to kind of nurture your audience, or if you're trying to get it to actually make the sale. So to give you some examples here, this can be different for every type of business where you've chosen to grow your business, whether you have a podcast or a Facebook group, or if you're just on Instagram, or if you're on TikTok, whatever that might be, is you have different channels for either growing, nurturing, or selling. And on your growing, you're trying to get people deeper into your world. When you're growing, you're trying to get people into your nurture funnels. When you're nurturing, you're trying to get people onto your buying systems, and you're kind of just constantly letting people move through this cycle. So some examples, your top of funnel can be TikTok. It has a really high organic reach. And then your nurture point can be to get them onto an email list or over to your Instagram. And that's like the home for your community. And then your buying funnel, buying point most of the time is your website. But I know this sounds really complex and like, oh my gosh, I have to add all of these things. Your website is just out there and it's working for you. We look at it, we make tweaks, we make sure that it is kind of robust enough to make your buying, your like customer journey to be simple enough. That's just out there and it's working for you. You're already on social media of some sort, whether that is your nurture or whether that's your growing point. And a lot of times it's adding more of this nurture point in there. You know, everything I teach is very community focused. It's very community like centered. And so what we're doing here is we have one point that is for where you're nurturing. To me, I like to have people nurture on email lists. Yes, there's other places you can do that. Yes, you can do a lot of nurturing on Instagram as well, but it really is like you can nurture and sell to people on your email list. Emails still have literally a 500% greater conversion rate than any other marketing funnel out there. It's really where you're nurturing and you're selling. So we're always kind of thinking of this on like a spectrum. If you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here, but I'm kind of using it like a pendulum where like all the way over to the left is growing. As we get to the middle, that's kind of nurturing. And as we get to the right is all the way selling. So you're kind of like always on this pendulum of, okay, are we growing? Is our objective growing, nurturing, or selling? And you're kind of moving throughout here. So to me, top of funnel most of the time and what I teach my clients is social media. Your social media really is your top of funnel, where people are finding you, where we can get organic new people to find you. Yes, you're going to do growing on there. You're also going to nurture some people and kind of house your community. You're like kind of your warmest, your hottest leads on that channel. So your social media really is the hub of your business. It's where you nurture people the most. It's where you're the most consistent. It's where you're trying to grow. It's where you're nurturing. And yes, you do sell on social because obviously people will buy directly from social, but really the major nurture point for most of my clients is their email list. This email list allows them to really nurture sending exact information when you have a sale, when you have a launch, when you have things going out, and you can just give them actual info. People, you say, stay on people's email list. You can also kind of replace this email list or add an SMS list onto this, and that's done in a very similar way where you can actually send people exact links, go here and go buy. It's like kind of like at the moment notifications of things where there's a little less noise. Of course, there's some of those people out there that have like 100,000 unread emails. There's a lot of noise there, but I mean, it kind of depends on who you are. Like my mom, she probably has around 200,000 unread emails. Mom, if you're listening to this, I love you so very much, but you do have a ton of unread emails. I'm somebody that has 0 unread emails, or maybe I have 1 or 2 and it's like a to-do list item that for me to remember to go and do those things. And so your nurture point for a lot of people is that email list. So it's different for different types of businesses. For my business, my podcast is what you're listening to right now is my largest, is my top of funnel. It's where the most amount of people find me. It's where my most amount of people are. It's where I have the majority of my community. My ride or die people on my podcast go over to my Instagram. I have those people on my Instagram. Of course, I use Instagram to nurture and to kind of sell to people onto there as well. My podcast is very much so the top of funnel. Of course, people find me on Instagram as well, but it's not where the majority of my top of funnel stuff happens. Most of it is on podcasts. And then in the middle where I'm nurturing people is on Instagram, as well as my email list is basically selling. So I am top of funnel podcast. Middle of funnel is Instagram, where I house my community, where I have the most amount of connection, the most amount of engagement with my audience. And then I'm selling most of the time. Yes, I sell on Instagram, but I also sell on emails. It's where I post or I send my most amount of selling content. And so knowing this is really having a solid strategy, is understanding more of the why behind what you're doing and what that means in your objectives, how your objectives change. Your different channels lead to different things. Changing your objectives for them to actually work for you so you can work less, so it's not as taxing for you. Because without having these, you're working really hard on one thing and you're trying to do it all at once, whereas you can be doing these things in other areas. Because you know what? Emails can be automated in a lot of senses. Your intro sequence, that intro offer that you can give, abandoned carts, you can do follow-up sequences where your email is working for you. When people are adding things to their cart and they're not shopping, they're getting an email sequence from you that they are then getting nurtured and sold to. Your emails, you can schedule things out and it can happen as you go. When you have more of this well-rounded funnel, if your Instagram goes away or it gets, God forbid, it gets shut down, you still have your email list that's very much so functioning. And then you have your website that's already really working for you. But I think a lot of times we're thinking of all these things on the same playing field in our business, that you're thinking of your Instagram the same as your email, and then your website is just kind of out there and you're hoping people find it. But when you have a really solid marketing, strategy, they're all seamlessly working together, where they're adding to each other and they're working together for you to really look at it, and your customers on the other end to just seamlessly move through this buying cycle, seamlessly move through this buying process, because you're giving them the right information in order to turn in from a top of funnel person to nurtured into the middle of the funnel, and then the bottom of the funnel where they're going and buying and they're finally on your website. And so what we're really doing here is streamlining your sales process where people can immediately find you on Instagram, go into your middle of the funnel and immediately buy. And yes, like I said, people from your email list are getting nurtured. People on your social media, which is your top of funnel, are also could possibly buy from you, but this is just the majority of your objectives. It's making them all work seamlessly together so you can really have a natural buying process. And I know this can sound really complex. Your website's already done. So the bottom of funnel is check, it's out there. We might need to make a couple of tweaks, but then it's just there and it's working for you. Your emails, we can write them once most of the time. And we can have a lot of funnels out there, and those are really working for you as well. And then you can send a couple of little emails out there, maybe nurturing once a month, but really just when you're selling, you're putting that info out on your email list. Email is not dead. You are not annoying for sending out emails. People that are on your email list want to be there. If they don't, they can click one button and unsubscribe. They're there for a reason. And then your social media is where the hub of your business is. It's where you're doing all of these things, but you're having your main focus being one of them. So inside of my signature program, Product to Profit, I teach this, how to really get these people moving throughout into this seamless sales funnel, how to get these people kind of moving throughout your systems really easily, really naturally, not adding anything onto your plate, to actually let them move through this funnel to get more consistent sales without you having to work harder, with your emails working for you, with your social naturally working for you, with your website converting higher for you. And so when we look at this, this is where they all kind of naturally work together. If you're trying to get to consistent sales online, if you're really trying to kind of make your online funnels like you're seeing in person, you're seeing all of these sales. If you want your online funnels to work like this, we want kind of an ecosystem of sales online. And this is how you do that, is understanding what is top of funnel, what is mid, like nurture point, and what is buying point. Or where are you attracting, where are you warming, and where are you converting? And then all of that strategy kind of moves in, having different objectives in each. So this is exactly what I'm teaching inside of my signature program, Product to Profit. I am teaching over 90 days how you can get to consistent sales through online sales funnels, through online selling metrics. And if you have been dying over what content to post, how do I use my email? Why are people not buying? Why does it seem like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but my sales are still kind of falling flat online? PTP is the program for you. If you're interested in it, we have actually a round starting in June. You can send me a DM on Instagram that says PTP. I'll send you the details. Otherwise, you can click the link in the show notes below and you can apply, and I will start that conversation with you and send some more information over to you as well. If you are really wanting to do this, it really comes down to having a solid marketing strategy, understanding marketing, understanding sales, the science behind it. This isn't just, hey, post these things. It's, this is why we're doing it. Here's the science behind it. This is sales psychology, consumer behavior, and things that I actually learned in college, because it is a science, it is a skill set, it is a textbook thing that we can teach. So skip the whole business degree. I have 2, and I will teach you how to do all of this in 90 days, how to run a seamless business that creates sales. Excuse me. Create sales on social media for you online. If you've been struggling for this online point of sales, this is what you need to do, is have this seamless online selling channel. Grace, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have a question you want me to answer, click the link in the show notes below. You can put it there. Otherwise, you can come on over, DM me on Instagram at This Is Madison Paige, then says PTP. If you're looking to grow there, I will be there and I will help you grow. We're starting on June 17th. This program has helped over 100 people quit their 9-to-5. Dozens of people hit their first 6-figure year in their business, and truly has been life-changing for so many. And I am so humbled to say that. It is my favorite program to really help you get that holy cow, it's finally happening moment. If that's what you're looking for, this is the program for you. It has sold out the last 3 rounds. And so by the time you're listening to this, there's probably only a few spots left within the launch. Come hang out with me on Instagram and we can start that conversation there. I hope you have a great day. My handle on Instagram is @thisismadisonpage. I'll chat with you there. Come hang out. You'll see more info. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this was helpful. Submit your questions below and send this over to your biz bestie so the next time you're having a conversation, you guys can chat about what your online funnels are. Where are you attracting? Where are you warming? And where are you converting? Have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always.